Hello everyone, welcome to the live session of Easy Recruitment. So we will wait for another 1 minute, then we will start our live session. So in the meanwhile, I request everyone to introduce themselves in the comment section. Hello Garv Agarwal sir, hello Lakshmi ma'am. So in the meanwhile, I request everyone to please introduce themselves in the comment section. We will be starting in just 30 seconds. We will be starting our live session. So hello everyone, my name is Aditya and we are doing this live session with Ankur Modi Sir. I hope everyone liked our previous session on things to do before an interview and the confidence building session. So if you haven't watched that session, so please go and watch those sessions. Today we have come up with a new session in which Ankur Sir will discuss about what things we should keep in mind to get a job easily. So in the end, I will be discussing the job vacancies, when school will be starting their hiring and how we can help you. So please stay with us till the end. So as we all know that the most important thing to for a landing a job is to ensure that you are fully prepared for the interview. So by preparing, you will feel much more in control. You will have anticipated what will get asked in the interview. So interview is a plays a important part in the role of getting a job for you. So there are many things that we all should focus on before going for the interview. Like, are you mentally prepared? How you dress? Do you know about the job and the institution properly? So there are many things. Ankur sir will be discussing such things in the today's live session. So before starting, first I will tell you about our company. Our company name is Easy Recruitment and we provide recruitment to teachers in schools and provide training to prepare them for an interview and all other things that can help a teacher in getting a good job. We have 150 plus schools associated with us in Delhi and the NCR region. We are in this field for the past 2 years and most teachers face difficulties in interview. Trust me, they face a lot of difficulties. They are good in their academic part, but they are not able to land a good job due to their lack of interview skills or because of their confidence. So many teachers don't focus on some things like resume writing, interview skills, about confidence building. So that's why we have started doing these live sessions to reach to a larger audience, because these sessions can really help you to get a better job. So before moving forward, I would like to request everyone to subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. In the future, also we will be coming up with these sessions. So now I would like to take over it to the Ankur sir. I will request Ankur sir to take the session and a very warm welcome to Ankur sir. Sir,
Thank you. Thank you very much, Aditya sir. Thank you for making me a member of this wonderful journey. I welcome all the viewers of this Easy Recruitment channel at this platform. Today, we all have gathered over here with this live session, especially for the teachers only. So, as we all know, that the title of our today's video was Worried About Job. So, before we start about the topic, let me introduce myself. I am Ankur Modi and I am going to be your guide, instructor, facilitator for this very live session. If we look at this topic that we are discussing today, job and getting worried. So it is a very common thing that we have witnessed in this time of pandemic. Even in general also, there are certain times when we are worried, but the worriedness that we encounter when it comes to job is a totally different one. I better modify the term that is there. Rather than worried about job, let me change it with the phrase worried about getting a job. Because obviously, when we are in a job, we are not worried. It is the starting phase that makes us troublesome. It is the starting time with which we are full of so many negative, with so much negativity that we are not sure whether we shall be able to crack the job or not. So basically, in this video for teachers, we are going to talk about certain reasons as well as their solutions with the help of which they can overcome this problem of worry. So we will start our this session with the very first slide in which we shall talk about the reasons of being worried. So as you can see, that one of the major reasons of being worried is not being aware of the interview skills. These are the skills which are required by every candidate in order to present himself in front of the interviewer or in front of the whole panel of interviewers. Another thing is the lack of knowledge regarding the subject English. Now, it is not possible to overcome this hurdle altogether, but yes, there is again a major problem which drives the attention of almost everyone, and that is the problem not related to English as a language, but English as a speaker. I have encountered numerous candidates who know English very well, and they not only have a good grip over the vocabulary, but also they have a good command of English grammar also. Still, they are fearful. And perhaps there one more thing that we shall be talking exclusively is to on the mind of the interviewer. Now, impression is something that we are very much concerned about. We are always worried about the impression that we are going to mark in an interview. But the point is that we do not know which are the things that are going to be judged over there, or what are the criterias on which we are going to get judged. And that is why we keep on rambling in our thoughts again and again regarding this very thing. And even after going for all these things, the last thing that gets covered in the area of reasons, that is our confidence. Our confidence mostly gets recovered if we are having knowledge. But even after having knowledge as well as guts, still, if you are having this problem of low confidence, then in this short live session, we are going to talk about that very problem also. So, one by one, we are going to encounter all these reasons of worry one by one. So, we shall be starting with the interview skills. Before we start, let me tell you that interview skills are nothing but those set of skills which are used at the time of an interview. Now, as we have already discussed about it in our other sessions, that in an interview, only one thing that gets done is an interview of our own personality. If we have been through an interview of us by ourselves, it is really very good. In case we have not, then definitely it is going to create a big trouble. So, before facing an interview, it is essential that we do an inner view of us by ourselves. So, basically, in an interview skill, there are certain key points that by keeping them in our mind, we can be able to face the interviewer or the whole panel of interviewers very well. And these skills are the following. One is first is articulating articulating response capabilities. Now, the term simply means that in an interview, whenever we are being asked about a specific question, we should present ourselves in such a way that we are a responsible human being who does his or her job in a very sincere manner, and who is totally accountable for the actions he or she commits. Now, how can a candidate do it? There is a very simple way for it. In order to articulate our responses of abilities, what we need to do is to mention what we have been through. हमें वही बताने की जरूरत है जो हम कर चुके हैं. By doing this, you can present yourself as a very responsible candidate. Another one is being confident. So I think this is also the last part of our reasons of being worried. So we should talk about it in detail, because in the starting saying that being confident won't be sufficient for you all. So we very well understand the limitations of a candidate. Next one is being an active listener. Obviously, to be a good speaker, being a good listener is a must. And for sure, it is essential, because there is no output until unless there is a good input. And when it comes to an interview, in order to give the answers, we need to first listen the question carefully. or in order to respond to the situation, we need to comprehend the situation very clearly in our mind so that we give a sensible and appropriate reply. Now, before proceeding ahead with our further interview skills, let me tell you a very simple thing that these interview skills can be mastered by a candidate by being conscious of his own responses, his own behavior, as well as words. Now, talking about another interview skill is punctuality. Punctuality has its own reward, and that reward is an extra time. That extra time, which is going to provide you a lead in comparison to other candidates, whether it is an interview or your other public dealing, punctuality can take you ahead in comparison to others. In fact, punctuality is not only about giving importance to the time of others, but it is about managing our own self. And this punctuality, when it comes to an interview, plays a great role in an interview as well as public dealing also. Not getting panic is another attribute of this interview skill series. Not getting worried or not getting panic simply means presenting ourselves in such a way that our bodily gestures do not reveal our inner anxiety. What does it mean? Being confident, while it is related to our positive attributes, on the other hand, getting panic is something which creates a negative impact about us in the mind of the interviewer. Now, this getting panic consists of speaking with so many pauses or moving our hands or legs in an inappropriate way that are not considered apt for an interview. Next thing is thinking before we speak. So yes, it is a general rule that we all know very well. Going ahead, so next we are having dialogue. Now the biggest problem with both the online teaching and an interview is the same. In an interview, only the interviewer asks questions and the whole conversation becomes a one-way communication. So basically, the whole conversation is kind of a monologue instead of being a dialogue. So what we are to do, we are to convert our whole interview into a dialogue. And obviously, preparation is the key. We all know this very well. Now we shall talk about the impression that we are going to leave on the mind of the interviewer. Now, this is the very impression that we have talked as the image that we are going to leave, the impression we are going to leave in the mind of the interviewer or the panel. Now, for this very thing, we need to know that there are certain qualities that are judged in an interview, and for almost all the professions, these qualities are the same. These qualities are our subject knowledge and our team spirit. There is one point I would like to add here. The team spirit is not all about being a leader. Team spirit also consists of being a good member of the team. If you are having loyalty, sincerity, then also you are a good team spirit holder candidate. You need not to show your leadership qualities over here if you don't have. And yes, if you have them, it is really very good of you. With the upcoming skill that we are talking about is the teaching skill. Now, this includes not our academic qualification. This includes those abilities that we possess which are similar to that of a teacher. It includes being hard worker. It includes being sincere. It includes, above all, the desire to see others grow. This is a very good attribute as well as the most important one. Until unless a teacher does not possess this quality, he can't be called a good teacher. The desire to see others grow is the biggest attribute of a teacher, and that is what we need to be conscious whether we are presenting it or not in front of the interviewer. Next one is accountability. Accountability simply means taking the blame only of the action or of only of the wrong action that we have committed. But at the same time, not only we do take the blame, but we also show our aptitude towards growth. We also show our intensity about improving our own mistakes. Now, this is a topic that I think we have touched for the very first time in our live session, and that is English language. Now, while we deal with this problem and we talk about its solutions, let us go for it in detail. And for that, I would like to read this quote for you. A problem well stated is a problem half solved. And this is what we are doing in this live session. In this live session, we are talking about those problems, we are talking about those reasons which are the problem, which create the problem of being worried in us. So, if we well analyze all the reasons of our problem that creates this feeling of worriedness in us, then we can deal with it in a very well manner. So, if you are a candidate who knows English still can't speak it, then this is the analysis that is going to be very beneficial for you. There are certain reasons due to which candidates who even know English, they are not able to present themselves in front of people. And these reasons are the following. First of them is the vocabulary. As we all know, that language is a very vast thing. There are numerous, or it can be said, there are numerable words in a language, and it is really very hard for a speaker to cram all of them. But if we are having a basic vocabulary, let me tell you, language researchers, Mr. Longman, once prepared a list of 3,000 words, which he named as Longman 3,000 Basic Words of English. He categorized those words as per their frequency of uses, and it is considered that if a student or if a candidate wants to learn English, then by learning those 3,000 basic words, he can have a full command over English. Now, remember, full command meaning, what does it mean over here? The meaning of the word full command here is knowing how to speak in front of others, watching English movies on TV, having an English conversation with others, reading a English magazine or newspaper, or listening news in on TV. So, what can be the reason of your poor English? It shall be either the vocabulary or it shall be the pronunciation. Now, even after we know what are the meanings of the different words, but if we do not know that how to pronounce then that word, it can be a great trouble. Next, we are having grammar. So, at the time of formation of sentences, we commit mistake over here. So, we need to work on this part also. Now, talking about a major reason, as you can see the letters L, S, R, and W. So out of these four letters, I have specially made the letter S bold. Now, why is it so? It is so because as you can see in the picture, a language has different aspects. It has listening aspect of it has reading aspect as well as writing aspect. But you know what is the big trouble with the society or with the world? That a person is considered to have the knowledge of a specific subject only if he or she can very well speak that language. If you are good at vocabulary, if you are good at grammar, if you can read well English, if you can write English well, but if you can't speak it, you are considered to be a poor student of that language. Sorry. So in this reason, we figure out that though we are aware of the rest three skills of a language, but if we do not know how to speak it, then we would be considered a poor speaker or poor at that very language. So what we are to do, we are to understand that what is the point or what is the reason due to which we are unable to speak English. Let me just rewind the slide. As you can see, we need to figure out whether we are poor at vocab or we are poor at pronunciation or we are poor at grammar, or as you can see at the speaking part only. Only by knowing on which aspect we are lacking, we can improve ourselves. If we are good at all the aspects except pronunciation, then we should try listening to podcasts, English news, or we should watch English movies with the subtitles turned on so that we can figure out how a specific word is pronounced. So by taking all these measures, we can learn how to increase our English skills as well as then overall increase our confidence level. Now, except these four major drawbacks of in terms of in reference of English language, there is one more major reason which is very hard to understand by a candidate, and that is why I have come up with this specific term, and the term is socio-cultural norms of a language. Now, what are these socio-cultural norms of a language? We shall have a look at it in detail. So basically, these are the different problems related to socio-cultural norms of a language. As you can see, even if we know the pronunciation, we know the vocabulary, and we know the grammar rules, and we have the guts enough to go ahead and speak, still, if we do not know that at what rate of speech we should go ahead. Rate of speech means the way we make use of a language, whether we are to go fast or we are to go slow, at what pace we are to make use of language comes under the category of rate of speech. Next one is length of pause. Now, this length of pause is a great attribute of a language. For example, if I take an Hindi example for our viewers, that ruko, mat chalo. Now, the words are ruko, mat chalo. Now, if I use these three words in a totally different manner by creating a pause after the second word, ruko mat, chalo. Now, can you understand how big difference the sentence has made to the situation? On one hand, we are talking about taking a halt and not going ahead. And in the other situation, we are saying not to take a halt and go ahead. So, as a new learner of a language, because we do not have the availability of environment around us in reference of English language, or better say in reference of any other second language, we do lack the chances of growth. So we do not know where and how to give or how to understand that what much is the requirement of giving a pause in the specific situation. Now, third problem which is related to socio-cultural norms is relative role of other participants. While we are having conversation with others, if a third person is having conversation, then we are unable to figure out that how we are to give responses, how we are to comprehend the situation, and how we are to react in that very specific situation. And even if we know how to react, we do not know how to take initiative, how to take the charge of the situation, or how can we go ahead and start with our point. So these are the problems which are related to the socio-cultural norms. Now, why the word socio-cultural norms is associated with the language? Because this is that part of language which has nothing to do with the, I would say, functioning part of the language. Functioning part क्या हुआ? For example, language में vocab है, again there is pronunciation, there is grammar. But ये वो हिस्सा है mistake के areas का जहां पर even if you are a good knowledgeable person of that subject, that knowledge would be of no use to you. And why is it so? Because all these problems are the problems based on situation. Only when you are in a situation you can know how to deal with them. Only you can know how to learn them. No book can ever tell you that where to give what amount of pause, or how to get indulged into a conversation, or which words you are to use for getting indulged into a conversation. So these are the socio-cultural norms problems of a language. Now, because we have put the problems, so obviously we are to go for the solutions too. So here come up all the solutions. If we really want to know at what rate of speech should be kept by us while talking to others, we need to obviously we need to be in that environment. By being in that environment, we can learn. If we talk about the length of pause, then only in a situation by observing what others are speaking, what is the context in which the conversation is going on, as well as by understanding the attitude, intensity of the speaker, we can understand. By observing them, we can understand that when it is our turn to speak, where and how much pause we are to give. If we talk about the third problem, that is the relative role of other participants, so again it can be also learned only by being with the other participants, by having communication with them, by getting them indulged into the conversation that is taking place, as well as by knowing their opinion or by presenting our opinion. Next is understanding the conversation. Now, it is said that a person with a wider span, a person with a wider scope of interest has greater amount of knowledge in comparison to another person. कहने का मतलब इतना ही है that if you are a person with one or two interests, your vocabulary would be limited. But if you are a person with multiple interests, or if you are a person who is having interests more than one or two, then obviously you shall be very well acquainted, very well aware of the vocabulary of those different subjects. For example, our youth is associated only with the technology or automobiles or Bollywood cinema, but they are not well acquainted with the political system of India. So the wider or the number of interests you are having, the wider your scope of vocab would be. So this is what we can do in order to empower our language skills. Last one is taking the charge of the conversation. So taking the charge of the conversation can be understood by a candidate only by being in the situation. And for this, it is a very important thing that you commit the mistake. Only by committing the mistake, you can learn where you should have taken the charge of the conversation by interrupting, or whether you should have kept mum at that point of time and would have you should have presented your perspective, your point of view at some other point of time. Now, after all this, the question comes, when we have talked about the three problems of language and we have talked about the rest of the two problems, what are the solutions? Now, if we when we have analyzed the interview skills and the language problem, as well as the impression that we are going to create, still if we are facing the problem of low confidence, then there is one solution. Basically, I have enlisted 7 solutions for this problem of low confidence, and we will have a look at all those solutions. So these are practice, 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 and yes, obviously, it is the same. We are to continuously practice for it. And why is it so? The reason is simply stated. Practice creates confidence, and that confidence empowers us. There is no other possible way to enhance our confidence level instead of practice. There are two parts that we are to do for overcoming a problem. One's knowing our problem in the best possible way, and the second one is working on it. In the first three topics of interview skills, impression we create, as well as the analysis of language problems, we have understood our problem very well. Now, this is the last part which gets remained, and that can be done only by practicing to the level best manner, by practicing again and again in order to enhance our confidence level. Now, I would like to again take you to the slide in which we have talked about all the problems that we are having. We have talked about the socio-cultural norms of a language, in which we talked about the solutions as well as the problems. We talked about that we need to focus on the speaking part of language because this is the only one with which we get judged. And along with that, the three problems are either we lack at grammar or pronunciation or vocabulary, and we need to be aware of our limitation of language, that under which category do we fall. And the other things that we talked about in this short session was accountability, teaching skills, subject knowledge, as well as team spirit, which are the essential impressions that we need to create in front of the interviewer. And we talked about certain interview skills that we need to master. By mastering these things, we can enhance our confidence level. And as this was a slide that I was talking about, we need to work on the aspect 1, 2, and 3. And by working on these 3 aspects, we are definitely going to increase our low confidence level. And still, if we are lacking, then the reason can be nothing but the lack of practice. And that is something that we need to go for. Now, I would like to hand over the charge to Mr. Aditya.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, sir, for such a great session. So now I will be telling you about our course. So we are doing a course with Ankur Modi Sir on our app. So these are some of the topics that will be covered in the course. Ankur Sir will be with us in the whole journey of our course. So I will request Ankur Sir to explain the course, like what are the course content and everything. Yes, sir.
Exactly, exactly. So it is essential to know that what are the content that we are providing to our candidates in this small module of 15 days. Basically, in this module, we are going to deliver you some pre-recorded classes, certain tests, and the content of the whole module would be consisting of those interview skills that we need to excel. We shall be talking about those frequently asked questions that are mostly asked in interviews. We shall be discussing that what is the tendency of the interviewer, what do they want to figure out, and how we are to answer them. Remember, the discussion that we are doing in these pre-recorded videos shall be about an answer in general, and we shall be telling you how to figure out your own answer, because the answer of the question differs from candidate to candidate. Only by the tool of self analysis, a candidate can figure out the right answer that is for him or her. It is not like that we can copy an answer, because as we all know that we all are different, and by using a copied answer, it cannot work in an interview. So in an interview, we need to be genuine. Along with this, we are going to talk about two major things that are the which are, one is the resume writing. Resume, as we all know, is the way to present ourselves in front of the employer in our absence. And at a great extent, this resume creates, better said, this resume holds a great impact in our selection for the interview, or our just getting denial for the interview. Two more things that are there in the course. One is the new education policy, and the second one is the online teaching. In new education policy, we are going to talk everything that has been mentioned in the 60 pages of new education policy that have been published by the Press Information Bureau of India. And at the same time, we are going to talk about the need of time, and that need of time is getting acquainted with the online platform, getting acquainted with the software and hardwares that are essential for us to take us ahead at this time of pandemic, where being at home has become a must for both the teacher as well as the students. So these are all the things that we shall be having for you in our module of easy recruitment. Of this is going to be a module of 15 days, and definitely it is going to be just one of the most important things for you. And if you do not know, then let me tell you that the new education policy also talks about 15 hours of yearly training program for teachers, in which they shall be trained about new changes that have taken place in the education system. And one more attribute of this whole course that I would like to add, that the course consists of a special two pre-recorded vocabulary sessions. Now, these vocabulary sessions, I have named them as the confidence building session. Now, the interesting thing is that how can it be that by knowing the vocabulary, your confidence level get increased? So the scenario is that we all are in this profession for more than a year. Almost those candidates who are going for this course, they have been teachers since a long time. So the point is that this course, in those pre-recorded classes that I was talking about, that I have named as vocabulary sessions, we have gathered all those actions and all those techniques of teaching that we as a teacher are performing since time long, but we do not know how to name them. Remember, candidates, there is a fine difference between knowing something and presenting that very something. My point is, if as a teacher I am doing very well, but in an interview, if I am unable to present myself in front of the interviewer or in front of the panel, then obviously the mistake is all mine. So in that vocabulary session, I have talked about those vocab terms such as active learner, passive learner, or we have talked about Bloom's taxonomy, with the help of which we teach. And interestingly, we do not know what Bloom's taxonomy is. We have talked about different concepts like IQ, EQ, and so many other concepts also that are there in this course. So basically, the module is a kind of package which is full of everything. It has some static information regarding some static points, as well as some dynamic points, as well as some contemporary points. So this was all about the module.
Yeah, thanks a lot, sir, and very well said, sir. The NEP will also be able to implement it in the school only after the teachers are well prepared for it. Like no school can be able to implement NEP in the school before doing anything, or like before giving training to the teacher. So getting a better training is a must thing for every teachers in the future time. So now I would like to present some highlights of our course. So I would like to go to the next slide. So these are some of the highlights of our course. There's a live classes, there will be tests, recorded videos, lifetime access to the job notification, and we will be also be taking the mock interviews. So at the end of the session, I will be taking your mock interviews. Like I will be helping you preparing for the for the real interview, the interview that you will be going to give in the school. So before that, I will be helping you with the two mock interviews in which I will be telling you what are the mistakes you are making and everything. So I will be helping in that also. And after doing this course, you will be getting a e-certificate that will be really helpful for you if you are going to show that certificate in the schools. So the price for the course is 599, and there is a 5 days money back guarantee. There is not a like a we are doing this thing to help the teaching community. So if you can join the course, and if you think the course is not for you, and if you are facing any issue in that, so there is a 5 days money back guarantee from our side. So now I think I should be taking some like I have already told about our company and why us. So we have schools collaborated with us. We are providing many jobs to the teachers and training to the teachers for a past 2 years. So we know what the schools are looking into a teacher. So we are well trained in that also. So now we will be taking some Q&A session. So yes. So Dheeraj sir asked this question: do you charge for providing teaching jobs? No, sir. We don't charge our students that are in our course. We don't charge anything from that. We don't, and we only help them in getting a job. So, and Ekta ma'am, do you provide teaching? Yes, ma'am. Like I think you are in our WhatsApp group. If you are not, please join in the description. I put many job vacancies in the group only. So, and I also want to talk about one thing there are many less vacancies nowadays. So, what's the reason behind that? Like in, I will talk about Delhi. So, in Delhi, currently the admission season is coming. So, the schools are basically focused on the admission season because due to the pandemic they faced a lot of losses. Many schools, not the big schools, but many schools face losses. So they are, and also the now the big schools are focusing towards the admission season because this I think DOE will be announcing the admission season in January. So every school is now focusing on the admission season. So there is a very less vacancies nowadays. But don't worry about that. Like after the admission season, schools will be hiring rigorously. So there will be many vacancies coming up, and we are associated with many schools. And in the admission season, we are family of around 250 plus schools. So please don't take any of the tension. Like we will be helping you guys. We will be providing you all the job vacancies. So also in the pandemic, like many teachers were asking COVID का कब तक impact रहेगा. तो I want to make you one thing clear कि after admission season schools will start hiring, but there is one more thing there is no any specific guidelines from the schools regarding the sorry regarding any of the when the schools will be opening. So this is an issue for the school also, though, because the schools are facing a lot of issue like they should be hiring the teachers or not. They are thinking a lot ki like if we hired the teacher but again there is some mishap happened. So these are some of the issues the schools are also facing, but I can guarantee you that like after the admission season and after little bit of COVID settles down, so the cases settles down, so the hiring will be going on a larger scale. I will be assuring you like the hiring will be going on a larger scale better than the previous past 5 years. Like there will be many vacancies coming up. So till the in the Delhi, the admission season I think will be end in mid February. So I think in the March, the admission season, the recruitment time will be starting. So we will be giving lot of vacancies on that also. So I think we should be taking the next question. So yeah, so the yes, Ekta ma'am. So the course I have already mentioned the which course we are talking about, and I think there are 13 seats left right now. So if you think, if any of the viewers think like they are facing the any problem in the interview, and if you want to increase your chance of getting in the interview by 100%, so please join our course. Like we will be increasing the chances of you getting in the interview with the like Ankur sir will be us with the whole journey in the course. So we will be helping you out, guys. So and we are a company that are associated with schools, so we have many vacancies also. So I think Shivani ma'am. So yes ma'am, in the online teaching we will be involving these type of methods. I think Ankur sir will be better explain this thing also. So please Ankur sir.
Exactly, exactly, sir. As Aditya sir mentioned that in this module, we are not only making you aware of the NEP, but also we are making you aware of this online teaching platform. For those candidates who think that after the pandemic, everything is going to be exactly like the previous environment, like everything would be the same as it used to be earlier, then let me tell you that this time it is not going to be so, because we have faced such a situation. So schools are with a fixed and firm mindset right now that they would be hiring only those candidates who are well acquainted with the technology now onwards. So the teaching methodology, innovative teaching methodology that Shivani ma'am has talked about. So ma'am, in this module, when we talk about the vocabulary section of this module, as well as when we talk about the teaching, online teaching section of this module, in both the sections, we have mentioned in detail about those methods as well as those teaching styles which are must at this time of pandemic as well as in future onwards, those teaching methods which are going to be the only possible way to teach when we choose the online platform, or when we talk about inculcating the better as well as the higher cognitive skills of a student.
Yeah, sure. So I think the next question is from the yes, sir, Ramdas sir. Like the course link is in the description, and if you have any doubt regarding that, so the number mentioned on the screen, you can WhatsApp on this number. You can or also you can call on this number. So everything will be, and in that you can also check the description. Everything is in the description. So I would like the audience to ask any questions in the comment. We are here for the another 2 to 3 minutes, so we will be taking your questions. So if you have any doubt regarding the job vacancy, how you can prepare for the job and everything, anything like that, you can ask in the comment. I will be happy to answer you. So in the meanwhile, sir, I will explain you like what happening in the like the schools, in the school everything. Like I am in touch with many schools directors. So most of the schools, like if I am talking about the NCR region also, like Noida, Gurgaon. So the schools in the like in Noida, some of the schools are open. Okay, but in the Delhi there is no school open right now. So mostly the schools are facing faced a lot of issues after in the COVID period. So currently that's why they are just focused on the admission season only. So there is no such thing like that ki they will not be coming with any of the vacancies or anything like that, because many of the teachers were asking me also ki, like is there any vacancies in this part of the India, in this part of the Delhi and everything like that. I want to make clear that every vacancies that I am coming up with, I will be putting on the group only. So if you have joined the group, so every vacancies will be upon on the group only. And if you have any other personal query or anything like that, you can also WhatsApp me. And there is also a free like resume writing help from me our side. Like if you think you want to do a better in your resume or anything like that, so I can give you some suggestions to how you can improve your resume. And if you want to get like a whole lot of deep suggestions from the Ankur sir, and how you can like changes many things in your interview skills, so you definitely you can join our course. Like the course will really help you, it will increase your chance of getting the interview. So I think no one has any doubt right now. So if anyone has any doubt, so please comment down. And if you have any question, you can ask on the number mentioned on the screen, or you can join our WhatsApp group. You can check the description. There is our app. You can download our app. So there are few seats left in our course. So please, I think, please, if you have any question, please comment down. So I think, Ankur sir, we should end the session. Every doubt is cleared.
Mhm.
So thanks a lot once again, sir, for delivering such a great session. So it's
My
nice
pleasure.
having you. So I think we should end the session. Thanks a lot, everyone, for joining the session. Thank you.
Same.